Hi everyone. Thanks for inviting me along to speak today. I'm the pre-lunch entertainment, so I won't keep you too long. It's not a particularly long presentation. I'm actually here talking about a client that we work and I have worked with quite extensively over the last couple of years. They're actually here today. Steve from the Gift Experience is in the audience. He's not speaking because his little baby daughter arrived a little bit earlier than he thought, and he didn't think he'd be here today. So I stepped in to tell you about what we did together on the website. So before I start, just a little bit about Chapter 8 and who we are. We're a full-service digital agency, but we specialise in e-commerce and in particular multi-channel retail. We've over 500 websites under management now, and we've got an extensive UK reseller network as well. So we sell our product, our platform across the UK through other web agencies as well as directly ourselves. We're also PCI DSS Level 1 certified out of the box, so all of our clients have that certification for their websites, which is becoming even more important for e-commerce. And we're also in the process of just about finishing off becoming a payment service provider, which will also mean that we're doing acquiring as well as payment gateway services for our clients, reducing their cost of doing e-commerce, which is always a good thing. Just some vital statistics. Last year was a pretty busy year for us. We had about 70 million visits to our main corporate websites, and they're classed as our top 15 clients, so fairly busy, about 480 million page impressions and 20 million unique visitors. We did 28 million email campaigns last year, and we're generally very, very busy. We saw quite a big uplift even with the economy and the state it's in. We have 2 million pages published across those top 15 clients. About 1 million of those are indexed in Google. And 50,000 page 1 and 10,000 number 1 position. So it's a very high quality search engine friendly platform. We cover desktop, mobile and tablet, and we don't cover apps, but I'll talk about that in a second. In terms of the e-commerce figures, we processed £194 million of e-commerce transactions last year. Again, top 15 clients, and about 528,000 purchases. So a high volume e-commerce business. We should hit £500 million of e-commerce around November, which we're projecting at the moment. And we hit 1.5 million purchases last February. We carry about 425,000 product lines, and it's literally everything that Steve and the Gift Experience sell, including stuffed toys and gift great experience days, and we then move on to things like jobbers and socks to sock shop. I mean, it's a really wide range of e-commerce clients. And we peaked in terms of our transaction volumes on the 6th of December, which you'll all know is Cyber Monday, and we processed £37 a second throughout that whole day of transactions. Not only our e-commerce traffic, but we were also managing a campaign called the Big Give for Sally Reid's Foundation, where he gave away £12 million through our e-commerce systems, and we also managed the Coronation Street 50th anniversary appeal, which was the same day, interestingly. So we had to guarantee more transactions were able to go through to ITV than Brand National would expect at its peak. So we're fairly busy in terms of what we do. But enough about us, and that was a very quick whirlwind tour of us. I'm here to talk about QR codes and how we use them on the Gift Experience website, and really why they should be of interest to you as retailers. But first of all, what are they? Well, they're a new type of barcode, and I say new, but they've been around since 1994. They were originally invented by a Toyota subsidiary for tracking car parts in factories, so a highly technical environment that they were used in. But then they started to make an appearance sort of late 2008, early 2009, where sort of film studios started to use on DVD boxes and that kind of thing, and it's kind of grown from there really. And really the advent of smartphones, and the iPhone 3 in particular, and Android specifically has driven a real explosion in the use of QR codes. And really, you see them everywhere now, and they're appearing not just on DVD boxes, but on people's websites, in newsletters that you're receiving, in the high street, lots and lots of different places. And they can literally be used everywhere. The size of the ad itself doesn't actually matter. You can see them on things as small as clothing labels, to billboards, business cards, flyers, websites, lists endless, and here's a few places I've seen them. I think the field one in particular is quite cool. And I think the bloke with them on his chest, that's kind of modern day version of blind data. It's almost scan the person to get all their information. So they're literally everywhere that you see them, and you can scan them at any size. So providing you've got a nice reader on your mobile phone that you can just point up at the ad, you can literally pick up the information, and you're delivered to a web address typically, or you'll get a short message or anything else that you want to present through the barcode itself. So the next question is really, should you be using QR codes? And yes is the answer to that question. But let me just clarify that. If your customers are likely to be using QR codes, so you're in a demographic where you're perhaps thinking that it's a youth-oriented product, it's not. It's actually being used in very effectively in a sort of 24 to 36-year-old range. We've seen some interesting statistics. If your customers are using mobile, and more of them are, and actually if your customers are reaching you online, then they're probably using QR codes and they're probably aware of QR codes. So I think my view is absolutely you should be doing it. And the good thing is you can try it. You don't have to go all out and spend a load of money on QR codes. It's a very low cost of entry way of marketing to your customers. So you can limit the initial trials if you feel really uncomfortable about trying something as new as this. And then after that, broaden the scope, take it into your wider marketing campaigns and into more use in the business. I think mobile's everywhere now. Everybody seems to be transacting while they've got a phone in the palm of their hand. And I think customers expect you to support it now. So, a mobile app will take me to a mobile website where I'm expecting to have a mobile experience, not the full website crammed into a mobile screen. That's really, really key. And I think QR codes is a great way of driving mobile-specific traffic, and also targeting specific offers as well, because you can target QR codes to particular audiences. You can give individual QR codes that are coded to individuals and track people back to the site that way. So I think you need to include QR in any mobile that you're doing. 44% of handsets are smartphones. That stat's probably a couple of months out of date now, so we're probably above 50%. And we need to respond really to how users want to interact with us. And QR is becoming very, very popular. It's a personalised service, so you can actually code them and have people come back to the website and then use their profile data to drive further purchases. So, for example, I'll shop regularly at Gift Experience, and what Steve can do there is issue a QR code directly to me in a newsletter. I can click that, and I can follow my friends and have it tracked all the way back to the purchase funnel, which means that they get a really good overview of who I am, how I engage with the site and came back to the site to make a purchase, and what I ended up spending. So it's actually a nice full circle. So creating them, really, really, really easy. Lots and lots of websites that do it for you. If you had a chat rate website, you'd have a QR builder and be able to issue them on the fly, but there are lots of sites that will deliver them and generate them. A good one there is the Cairo.com website, where you literally log in and type in a web address or some text or anything you want to appear in the QR code. Select the size, so it's small, medium, large, or extra large, and it will generate the image file for you that you can just include in all of your communications or anything you want to try with. So it's really, really easy. They're not like barcodes, so you can generate them at will. You don't need to register them. They're not EAN 9 or 13 or whatever the code standards are. You can literally just issue them and away you go. You don't have to report them to anybody and say, I've just issued this QR code. So they're literally fire and forget. You do as many as you like. And they're just very, very flexible. So where we've seen QR codes coming into play was really on the Gift Experience project that we started really last year. I'll give you a bit of background to the Gift Experience. They've been a client of ours since 2003. We built their very first e-commerce website, what seems like ages ago now, but it is a long time. Privately held company, and they're one of the UK's top 5 gift websites, and around 150,000 regular customers that are shopping on that site every day. They're a pure play online retailer, so no offline, no shops, no trade shows or anything like that. It's purely the website itself. And what we decided at the start of last year was that we really wanted to reach a mobile audience and then drive traffic to the mobile audience in new ways. And I think the two answers to that was well, first we need a mobile website, and the second one was, well, we'll drive traffic through QR codes and other initiatives. And I think the decision to go mobile was debated quite a lot. We sort of had the usual debate of, well, should we create an app or should we create a mobile site? And we wanted to get out there as quickly as possible to as many platforms as possible on a cost-effective basis as possible without having to rewrite an app for each platform. So we decided that we were going to go down the mobile web route and use the very rich web browsers that are in mobile phones these days. And with the other thing that drove this as well was that we noticed that around 18% of the traffic to the Gift Experience website at the time was actually being viewed on mobile devices, whether it was iPads or whether it was iPhones or Android handsets. So there was another driver there. We knew that we had an audience that was interacting with us via small devices and putting up with a full desktop experience, which we thought was not a nice way to deal with it. The other key was checkout. People are very nervous of checkout in general and parting with credit card details online in general. Another decision to go down the mobile web route rather than the mobile app route is that the security models around apps is actually quite interesting at the minute in terms of passing credit card details. You've got a lot of in-app purchasing happening through things like the Apple App Store and the Android Marketplace, but the issue is that you can't be sure that the app developer is definitely encrypting it with the latest SSL technology and definitely passing the card details back in a PCI compliant manner. So what we did was just jump on the back of it's a normal website, and we'll use SSL certificates to ensure that the information is encrypted and gets back to the website in the same way as it would on a full desktop, full flavour desktop site. So for us, security was key, but also checkout had to be as absolutely seamless as possible. Mobile users are very fickle and don't want to sit there and go through a 5-page checkout process. They want to do it as quickly as possible. So we had to make sure that we didn't lose conversion rate, getting them there in the first place because we were mobile friendly, and then losing them in the checkout funnel. And we also had to be able to manage the website alongside the existing site. The existing gift experience website is huge. It has tens of thousands of products. What we didn't want to do was create a new site that was mobile and needed to be managed completely separately. So they were sort of the rules that we set ourselves. So what we did was we developed the mobile website and made it really, really great for product browsing and product search. They were the two key things. So this was much less about promotion, which the main website is very much about, so showing off the latest Father's Day gifts or whatever happens to be the current promotion. We tried to minimise that as much as possible with a key promotion area, which you can see on the bottom left there as a sale banner. Today it's actually a Father's Day banner that's running, and limit the promotion, because what we realised was users are on mobile prefer to search, prefer to browse, and prefer to just look around. The other interesting thing we noticed was that most mobile traffic happens during the working day. And we think that's something to do with corporate policies and not allowing people to shop online while they're sat at their desks supposedly working. So we can see a move from the desktop to mobile much more sort of between 9 and 12 and 2 and 5:30. It's quite interesting. An iPad kind of kicks in early evening to late evening, so I think people are not being bothered to get the laptop out and they're switching to iPad. So what we did was, as well as making it a great browsing experience, we also added in the first site in the UK to have this, but PayPal mobile payments. So PayPal Express checkout and the ability to basically get through the whole checkout process without having to enter credit card details was the first one, but also supporting credit card where required and payment wallet. So what we had was essentially a one-click, I can't call it one-click because I'll get sued by Amazon, but essentially being able to go through the process and pull my details by logging into the site and just literally checking out the back end of the site. So no card details submitted at all was the best case scenario, and that works really, really well. And we targeted, as I said earlier, iPhone, Android, Windows Mobile, BlackBerry, and 4 key platforms there that we wanted to get out to. The other key thing as well is don't just reuse existing imagery, and don't just reuse existing assets from your main website on your mobile site. Optimize for 3G networks, and you need to think that that's the worst case connection that somebody's going to have, is a 3G or worse still 2.5G connection. So make sure that the images and the pages are kept really lightweight and load quickly on those platforms, because then when they're on Wi-Fi connections, you'll get a really fast experience for the user. So that was quite key. The other thing we achieved was a fully integrated solution that met with the existing website, supply chain and logistics. So we manage all of the warehouse operations for gift experience through an online dispatch system. We manage all aspects of how they get the products out the door. So it was important that when the mobile website got an order, that order landed in the same order management systems as the front end website, and the same staff that were picking and packing and shipping had nothing different to do. And that was a key success, I think, of the site. Also, single customer view was very, very important, and lots of people are talking about the single customer view at the moment, and it's been around a long time. Being able to understand what people are buying online, in store, and on mobile, and putting that all together and realising it's the same person was absolutely essential to get the site right. So we achieved single customer view out of the box on the first delivery. And support for multiple platforms. We like to try and remove the app-web debate. You know, I actually love apps. I've got loads of them, but I also like mobile web as well. And I think as long as you think about both platforms, you won't go far wrong. We tend to push clients towards an app model where they want to do something specific that's tied to the phone. So they might want to take advantage of features that are in the hardware that aren't on other handsets, and perhaps do a direct app with the app manufacturers. They might actually do a co-sponsored app with Apple, for example, or with Google. That's the kind of area that we'll push the client to if they want to go down that route. It's web for everything else, which means we get the widest possible audience then.